Myself Miss Tejasri Kosbe, lecturer from Praveen Patil Polytechnic, Bhayandar. My subject is maintenance of electrical equipment, and the chapter is third is testing and maintenance of rotating machines. Part 10, learning outcomes. At the end of this video, you will learn about synchronous impedance method, overspeed test, high voltage test, and insulation resistance test. So first is synchronous impedance method. So this is the diagram for synchronous impedance method, in which you can see there is a voltmeter and the DPST switch and one ammeter, star connected armature winding, field winding in which rheostat and ammeter is connected, and then DC supply is connected for the field winding. Synchronous impedance method. The method is also called EMF method of determining the regulation. The method requires following data to calculate the regulation. The first is the armature resistance per phase RA. Second is open circuit characteristics, which is the graph of open circuit voltage against the field current. This is possible by conducting open circuit test on the alternator. Third is the short circuit characteristics, which is the graph of short circuit current against field current. This is possible by conducting short circuit test on the alternator. So for synchronous impedance method, two tests are carried out. For the first is open circuit test and second is short circuit test. Procedure. The circuit diagram is same to perform open circuit as well as short circuit test on the alternator. The alternator is coupled to a prime mover capable of driving the alternator at its synchronous speed. The armature is connected to the terminals of a switch. The other terminals of the switch are short circuited through an ammeter. The voltmeter is connected across the lines to measure the open circuit voltage of the alternator. The field winding is connected to a suitable DC supply with rheostat connected in series. The field excitation, that is field current, can be varied with the help of this rheostat. The circuit diagram is shown in figure 1. Synchronous impedance method. So first is the open circuit characteristics, that is OCC. Procedure to conduct this test is as follows. So first is start the prime mover and adjust the speed to the synchronous speed of the alternator. Keeping rheostat in the field circuit maximum, switch on the DC supply. Third is the TPST switch in the armature circuit is kept open. With the help of rheostat, field current is varied from its minimum value to the rated value. Due to this, flux increasing the induced EMF. Hence, voltmeter reading, which is measuring line value of open circuit voltage, increases. For various values of field current, voltmeter readings are observed. So for open circuit test, the TPST switch is kept open and reading taken for the VOC, that is open circuit voltage, for the same field current. So this is the observation table for this open circuit test, in which you have to take readings for current, that is field current, VOC, open circuit voltage, which is line voltage. So convert it into phase voltage. So VOC phase is equal to VOC line upon root 3 voltage. So from the above table, the graph of VOC phase against IF is plotted. So this is called open circuit characteristics of the alternator, called OCC. So this is shown in figure 2. So in this figure 2, you can see there are two characteristics. First is the OCC, upper side is OCC, and the lower, which is straight line, is SCC, that is short circuit characteristics. And you can also calculate the characteristics for ZS, that is impedance. Second is short circuit test. After completing the open circuit test observation, the field rheostat is brought to maximum position, reducing field current to a minimum value. The TPST switch is closed as ammeter has negligible resistance, the armature gets short-circuited, then the field excitation is gradually increased till full load current is obtained through armature winding. This can be observed on the ammeter connected in the armature circuit. The graph of short-circuit armature current against field current is plotted from the observation table of short-circuit test. This graph is called short-circuit characteristics, that is SCC. So this is also shown in figure. We already see that figure. Next is the observation table for short circuit test, in which you have to take readings for IF, that is field current, and short circuit armature current per phase, that is IASC ampere. The SCC is a straight line graph passing through the origin, while OCC resembles BH curve of a magnetic material. So note, as SCC is straight line graph, only one reading corresponding to full load armature current along with the origin is sufficient to draw the straight line. So you can take only one reading to draw the graph for SCC, as it is straight line graph. Third is the resistance of the armature winding. Measure the DC resistance of the armature circuit of the alternator. The effective AC resistance may be taken to be 1.2 times the DC resistance. Next is the regulation calculation. From OCC and SCC, ZS can be determined for any load condition. The armature resistance per phase can be measured by different methods. One of the method is applied DC known voltage across the two terminals and measuring current. So value of RA per phase is known. So XS can be calculated. So XS is equal to root of ZS square minus RA square. So synchronous reactance per phase can be determined. No load induced EMF per phase EPH can be determined by the mathematical expression derived earlier. So EPH is equal to root of I in bracket V cos phi plus IRA bracket square plus I in bracket V sin phi plus I XS bracket square, where VPH is equal to phase value of rated voltage and I is the phase value of current depending on the load condition. Cos phi is equal to PF of power factor of load. Positive sign for lagging power factor while negative sign for leading power factor. RA and XS values are known from the various tests performed. The regulation then can be determined by using formula, which is percentage voltage regulation is equal to E0 minus V upon V. Next test is overspeed test. For traction motor, it is a routine test. This test is not applicable for induction motor. This test is performed to check the healthiness and quality of rotor, end coils, bearings, smooth air gaps. The speed of the motor is adjusted to 120% to 150% of its normal speed. Time duration is 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, the speed is brought to its normal speed for some time and the motor load is taken off and motor is stopped. So this is test. In this test, the speed is adjusted to 120 to 150% of its normal speed and time duration is 2 minutes and you have to check the performance. Next is high voltage test. So aim of this test is to check the healthiness under high voltage for a shorter time to check the quality of insulation resistance. The test is started by applying 1/3 of the test voltage and then voltage is increased to full test voltage. So for stator winding, 1000 plus twice the rated voltage. This is the test voltage for stator winding. For rotor winding, the test voltage is 1000 volt plus twice the open circuit standard voltage. Next is insulation resistance test. It is performed to check the health of insulation. Stator phase winding earth frame, rotor winding earth shaft, phase winding to phase winding, pedestal insulation and bearing insulation. So first, insulation resistance test. The insulation resistance measured after drying out test to get accurate results. Moisture can be taken out by drying out test. For this drying out process, the winding is allowed to carry current for a certain duration of time. So it heats up and creates temperature gradient. It causes flow of heat from inner surface of insulation to outer surface of insulation. In doing so, the moisture is dried out. So this is the diagram for stator winding and earth frame connection of the Megger. You can see the Megger is connected to stator winding and frame. For measuring insulation resistance of stator winding, a motor-driven Megger of 1000 volt or 2500 volt DC rating is used. One terminal is connected to any of the phase and other terminal to frame of the synchronous machine. The frame is properly earthed. Megger generates DC voltage that gets applied across the winding and frame. The circuit behaves as a capacitive circuit. Because of large charging current initially, Megger shows a dip in reading, that is less resistance and more current. As the capacitor is charged, the current decays down and now the pointer moves gradually and then indicates value of insulation resistance. This test is also known as IR test. This test is carried out after drying out test. Next is DC and AC measurement of armature and field winding measurement. So for measurement of winding resistance, you can use below method. The first method is ammeter voltmeter method. Second is single bridge method, that is Wheatstone bridge method. Next is the double bridge method, that is also known as Kelvin's double bridge method. So by using this method, you can calculate the winding resistance. Next test are dielectric test on stator and rotor. Before this test, power frequency voltage withstand test is performed. Specified values of power frequency test voltages are applied for a specific time between winding and frame. Next is dielectric test with AC voltage. To check the voltage withstand capability of insulation of the machine windings of stator and field. The start winding should withstand the specified test AC voltage recommended by the manufacturer without failure. Next is dielectric test with DC voltage. In this test, a rectified DC voltage of value 1.7 times the RMS rated AC voltage is applied for a period of 1 minute. Leakage current is also measured. Thank you.